Hello, and welcome to Principles of Marketing. I'm your Professor John Harvey, and here we are in week 6. Man, when you consider how far we've come in the semester, we're actually pretty close to halfway. The last couple of weeks and having Thanksgiving and all that really kind of shortened the semester this semester. So week 6 is pretty close to halfway through, so good job, guys. So this week you are working on chapters 7 and 8 out of the text. So kind of back into your groove there. And with that, I know last week you guys were working on your papers, so all those are kind of coming in. I would just ask that you give me a little patience on getting those graded. So it takes me a little while to get through all the grading of these papers, and you'll kind of see why. So just bear with me on that. It'll take a little longer than you think it's going to take, but I do appreciate you guys. Just give me a little time on that one. So it won't be as fast as the other kinds of grading that I do. That being said, I did want to talk about what's coming up in Chapter 7. So Chapter 7 begins that conversation about business to business versus business to consumer. And so this is one example, and it's not exactly the perfect example, but it's one that I always think of. When I go on a business trip, and I go through an airport, one of the things that I do is I like to stop and I get an ice cream. And because the business is paying for it, I don't really care so much about the price. And, I'm kind of thinking about other factors there, like, how big of a piece am I going to get? Is it too big to carry or move? Like I've got to run from one airport or one part of the airport to another part of the airport. I'm thinking also in terms of how quickly I can get through the line, so if there's a big long line, I'm not interested in it. And so that's a very different experience than if I'm buying ice cream for myself as a consumer, just as a person at home, right? Then I'm starting to look at the price. I start to care about, okay, what ice cream is on sale versus not on sale. I start looking at how much am I getting. I'm looking at that half gallon because I want it to last for a while. And so it's a very different set of criteria versus when I'm in a consumer mode versus a business mode. And I could extend that even further as a bigger example is if I'm going to be a business and I want to buy ice cream, I look at things even more, like how can I serve 200 people ice cream, right? So what if I'm a bank and I need to, put out ice cream for all like a, anniversary thing of the bank, right? Okay, so my criteria for ice cream there is very different. I need a lot more ice cream. I need a consistent delivery of it, so I can't have, the first part being really hard and then by the end having it being really soggy. I need to find a way to be able to, put out a whole bunch of ice cream at once. And pretty soon you start thinking, okay, can I get these individual packs or serving sizes that are already pre-done that I can hand out and things like that. And so, the mindset just shifts when you talk about something from business to consumer versus business to business. And so those attributes change. And that's the key for you to think about when you're looking at something business to business. So the exercise is kind of a fun one. I want you to take something that, if you're working somewhere, chances are you're probably a business to consumer, like you're selling to people. But you look at your product and see how you can transform that to a business to business type of sale or product. So, and what I want you to focus on is how those attributes change, right? It can be the exact same product, but there's things that matter, that change. So, the consistency, the availability of it, how it's packaged or presented. All those things matter and have a different priority than when you're looking at it from a consumer perspective. So anyway, that's kind of just an overview. That you're going to find this is a very useful exercise when you start to apply this, right? Because it can be a whole different market, a whole different business. It can really extend your company or the area that you're working in. And I think you'll find that that's going to be very useful in your life. So, all right, guys, with that, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.